Since I'm guessing you had to start the Zoom.
Yeah, you should have a co-host. Can you, do you?
Brought down by Affalava.
It says you're a co-host.
Okay, perfect.
All right, I'm going out.
All right. Worst thing is we just hit record on
Gain of
both.
3 to the
So,
23.
I'm recording on mine.
okay, perfect.
All right, guys, we'll start with an opening statement from Coach.
Wow, what a hard-fought game. I give a lot of credit to Georgia Tech. I mean, they just kept swinging and punching, and that locker room's ecstatic. So proud of these guys. Last week they took it from us. Our guys went out there and they freaking earned it. And I saw it all week. And that was a response, and it wasn't pretty and it wasn't easy. Just so proud of our football team to come into this environment to show who we are. Man, it was just gutty performance. I mean, Robbie Ashford all banged up. Damon goes down. Lely, whatever it took for every man in there, it took all 76 of us on this trip. So I'm just so proud of this team. I can't even really say much about the game. Defense was lights out. We made the big plays we needed. Man, they could have been saying, here we go again, and they didn't. They just ground it out and found a way to win a big football game. Heck of a job to Connor Calvert. He was the better kicker today, and just so proud of our team. So I'll open it up with any questions.
How important, obviously huge, was that final offensive drive? I think you guys had like 6 running yards in the third quarter, and the time of possession was like 14-7. You're going into that final offensive drive for you, and you marched down the field, took 6.5 minutes off the clock very methodically, and sealed the game.
It's kind of a little bit like last week, just a touch of like maybe a little stalls in the third quarter, but finding a way to make some big plays down the stretch. You know, Sawyer Racanelli just continues to stand out as a guy that just finds a way and is earning more playing time. That's the way you do it. You stay the course, you be a part of the team. Robbie was gutsy. Ty Clark stepped up. I thought our O-line, you know, it's 3 straight ACC games that shows they belong. You know, so proud of the offense, proud of winning the fourth quarter, you know, and going out there and closing the door.
To the defenses. I mean, like you said, they could say here we go again, but
I'm going to stop them at first to go from the 5-yard line. Just incredible. Great job keeping their poise. We came into the game thinking the offensive line was their weakest point, and we had to go take advantage of it. And all we needed to do was earn third down. And you could see it at the end, like we knew in our pass rush and our freaks package, like they couldn't block us. And those guys went out there and were great. Coming out of the half, we actually had like 3 MAs. We just kind of had a little bit of lull coming out of the half when they had that drive, but when they needed in the red zone, those guys were there, and so proud of that defense.
Jake, what went into the decision by you and Scotty to pressure so much on that final drive? They had no timeouts left, had to go the full length of the field in 2 minutes. All you had to do is keep them out of the end zone, but you guys sent pressure.
That's what we talked about on Monday. Let's stay aggressive. Let's go win the game. Let's trust our guys can go out there and win the game. I was almost kicking myself in that 4th and 2 early in the fourth quarter. You know, but I just thought our defense was playing a certain way to go out there and win the game. And I think that was the message, and credit to our whole defensive staff, defensive players. But this was a team win. It really was. I mean, there were some gutsy performances on both sides, and special teams came up big.
what happened to Damon? Leg injury?
I got to get the whole scoop. You know, I really don't have a lot. Just through the course of the game, I know he was down after halftime, but we were going to rally and find a way. And, you know, I just think those guys, they never flinched. You know, I think that's a sign of a good, tough, physical football team. And, you know, we got to get right back after it next week. We're going to celebrate this one, but 24 hours, and we got a long trip to take next week.
Moving forward without Damon, what did Ty Clark show in the second half that had your offense still at least capable of moving?
I think Ty showed, I mean, that screen pass, he showed what he's capable of doing, making some people miss, being gutsy, being tough, and getting the hard-earned yards. And we'll need Ty. And, you know, Jamario hasn't had his time yet, but it's coming, you know, so he's got to stay the course. And whoever's needed in that moment, I just thought our offense today, they delivered. You know, it starts with the quarterback. He was gutsy, he was tough, he was on point, and whatever we needed him to do, he was going to find a way to get it done.
Jake, on defense, I mean, he should be playing his best football at this point, but Nick Anderson's playing at another level right now.
Yeah.
You can see him being instinctual and attacking the ball before it's even snapped. What are you seeing from Nick, aside from just his leadership? Well, what
I've actually never seen a player play this much on instincts. Like, there's sometimes he's supposed to be in the third and he's over there to the boundary. I'm like, what's he doing? And he's just playing like he's a playmaker. He sees it, he feels it. And very few people trust themselves like that. And we trust him to say, hey, man, every once in a while you're wrong, we got your back, right? So I think it's a great combination of a guy that practices his ass off like you've never seen. A 6-year senior could come out and be like, I got this. I've played 50 games. But man, he practices as hard as it is out there. And I think he just sets an example of the standard of our program. He's done it since day one, since I've been here. And really proud of a guy like that for kind of just trusting us. And he's playing his best football. And I think that's what it's about.
Saw Robbie kind of walking off the field in the final 2 minutes. Obviously, he was hoping he didn't have to play again.
Yeah.
Had a towel said, didn't look really happy. Was there something else going on there we kind of need to know about?
Well, I think he just wanted to score a touchdown at the end, So we'll update you on anything else going forward.
You guys good? All right. Thanks.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Go Deeks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Hey, congratulations on the first ACC win.
Thank you.
Good, Robbie. How are you?
All right, guys, we'll open it up for questions to Robbie Asher.
What was that final offensive drive like for you, Robbie? You guys did not have a whole lot of success running the ball in the third quarter. I think it's 6 or 8 yards in the quarter. But yet you pounded out 6.5 minutes of time and put 3 more points on the board. And what was that like?
Just a situation where you got to dig deep. I mean, we all told ourselves this, like, hey, it's not going to be easy. We wouldn't want it to be easy. I mean, it's never going to be easy in Division I football playing against a great team like this. And, we just had to dig deep. And, hats off to the O-line, running backs, receivers, tight ends, everybody for doing their 111 and just making sure we did whatever we needed to do to get the job done. I'm just thankful for those guys. And, just a great team win. I mean, it wasn't easy. Had some ups and downs that we thought we weren't gonna have, but we overcame it. We overcame it better than we have all our other games, and that just continues to show our growth as a team. And for me, that gives me the utmost confidence as a quarterback to just know I can keep going out there and knowing whether I make a mistake, I know my teammates got my back, and when they make a mistake, I know I got their back. They know I got their back, and for them, they know that, hey, we're all playing for each other. And so, we just had to dig deep in that last drive and just be able to grind it out. And then defense was able to get a stop. We were able to go back to Winston-Salem happy. So,
Robbie, what did it take to move past last week?
yeah, I mean, you just had to be a dog. I mean, you gotta be a competitor. I mean, yeah, it sucks. Everybody should hate losing, but you should love the opportunity to come back and be able to beat somebody else the next week. I mean, so God woke us up that next day, allowed us to get back after it, and it's been a long time coming. NC State sucked, Georgia Tech sucked. Now it feels good to be on the winning side of one. Honestly, it's a lot of we threw a lot. We could really be 5-0, but we threw it away, and that it sucks. But we're this team's gonna keep fighting. We're not gonna stop, and I'm just proud of everybody, man, for just coming together and just finding a way to get it done. I mean, that's what a lot of people thought we couldn't do. They thought we couldn't finish, and we were able to finish today. And we just got to keep carrying that momentum.
Compare the bitterness of last week to the elation that the locker room felt in there today.
I ain't even been in there yet, so but I could just imagine they probably jacked in there right now. I mean, who don't like winning? So I mean, I can just imagine the party they're having up in there right now. So I'm excited to get back over there and get with them. But just enjoy this win. Don't take it for granted. I mean, because wins are hard to come by in the ACC and just Division I football in general. You're playing great competition every week, and we gotta come out. We gotta come out and get ready to work. Come in Sunday, get our recovery treatment, whatever we need to get done, flush that W, and get ready for Oregon State. We got a long road trip ahead of us across the country. But it'd be kind of cool for me just going back and playing my old first school's rival. So for me, it's always we don't like Oregon State. So all my Oregon boys been texting me like, the deal, bruh. We don't like OSU. So I'm excited.
Well, one more for Rob, guys.
What was the vibe when it was clear DeMond wasn't going to be able to answer the bell in the second half? Were you guys concerned about the offense?
No, I mean, I told everybody at halftime, I said, hey, our brother's down. I said, he gives us all of his programs to his team every single day. I said, so who will we be if we don't go out there and give it all for him and lay it all on the line? And, that's what we did. And we were able to bounce back and come with a W. Remember, he went down in game 1, and you would have thought it was like the end of the world. We didn't know what to do. And so, that just keeps showing the perseverance and growth of us as a team. I mean, being able to overcome our star running back, our star player getting hurt. It sucks. You always want him in the game, but to be able to know that regardless of the circumstances, we can still play for him, play for each other. I mean, that's just exceptional. You know, that for me, like I keep saying, as a quarterback, I mean, man, that just gives me the utmost confidence to know that I got a band of brothers around me who are going to give their all no matter what the circumstance is. And I'm going to give them all no matter what the circumstance is, because we're all trying to accomplish one goal, and that's to get a W on Saturday. You know, we were able to do that today. So just hats off to them, hats off to our coaching staff, hats off to the fans, just Wake Forest, just the whole community. Just we appreciate y'all and excited to keep it going now.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank y'all. Go Deeks.
All right, guys, we're gonna have 8 black come up.
Say here. How y'all doing?
Open up for spring.
Anyhow, if we get a touchdown, I mean, it's not like you haven't gotten the ball first time across the goal line for Wake.
It feels great. It really felt great. I was hoping I scored on that one screen I had, but it didn't work out. But next drive, it came back to me, and I'm grateful for it.
What did it mean to bleed 6.5 minutes off the clock in the fourth quarter when you guys were only up 4 and kind of take the game and shorten it and extend the lead?
Well, I mean, we work on those situations in practice, so it was really just come out in the game day and execute. So it's nothing we haven't seen before, and I'm glad the guys were able to come together and lean on each other.
What did it take to move past the bitterness of last week and the way that game ended?
I feel like it kind of just was the fuel for this week. Like somebody had to feel this pain, and unfortunately, it was done this week.
I'm gonna ask the bean question. All the penalties, was that on the offensive line and stuff, was that crowd related or where did that kind of come from?
It took us a bit to get settled down in the first quarter. It was a bit more noisy than we're used to, but now we've been in those situations, so it should be better moving forward.
Anything else for any guys? All right, thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Congrats.
We're gonna have Devin and Nick here in a second, guys. That's great.
Yeah.
Did I ever use it? It sounded like you said that. I guess it could be that, please. Yeah, I figured 2 defensive players for this game. Maybe he meant to. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. No, you're good. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I do. Coach's rest. I'm always over. I cross it. Jensen. Well, what's up, man?
All right, guys, we've got Devin Kalani. We'll open it up for questions.
1 second, guys. It's good.
You good now?
Good.
The 6.5 minute drive, how big was that and how did you guys find a way to pull that off? I know in the third quarter, you had like 6 running yards and really 1 first down, I think. And then all of a sudden, you all pull off that 6.5 minute drive and kind of seal the game.
Shout out Melvin Ciani, George Stye, George Sell, Falu Famoy, and Jamarian Kennedy. But I'm glad you told me 6.5. Felt like 8. I felt like we got on there with 10 minutes left, but those are drives we're gonna need, big boy drives. That's what we were saying. We want to win the fourth quarter, but also if we can control the ball for a good chunk of time and kind of take the will to live out of our opponent and methodically do it with small runs or explosive runs or good passes and converting on third down, it felt really good. Wish we could have scored, but the field goal is not bad, but getting a touchdown would have been great, but it felt good.
What's the feeling as an offense second half? You lose Demond at halftime. Robbie is obviously banged up with the brace. You lose Lely to still go down in that moment and score and to still do enough to win a game. What does that say about this team's resolve?
Definitely. I mean, one of the best running backs in the country and one of the best linemen in the country. And we're still able to go out there and have a big boy physical run, block, and drive. So it says a lot about this team. It says a lot about the way we practice and the guys we got in the room from, the first, the twos, the scout, the defensive guys who are giving us looks. We prepare for moments like that, whoever it is. And I'm proud of the people who did step up. Ty Clark, I think he got his first touchdown today. So heck yeah, Ty Clark. And Demario running hard. And it's going to take stuff like that. It's a long season and we're going to need people to step up. But I hope for a speedy recovery for whatever's going on with both of them.
What did it take to move past the bitterness of last week, the way that game ended?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you put a whole bunch of blood, sweat, and tears and stuff to win games, and you only get 12 opportunities and so close. And, we felt like as a O-line, we were traditionally, whoever's going to be more physical up front is going to find a way to win a game. And we felt like we did that, but we didn't. And we turned the page come Monday. It's the only choice we had is, to start focusing on Virginia Tech, come in here focused, didn't taste good, but couldn't leave that taste in our mouth for too long or else we wouldn't have came out and performed today.
A high number of penalties on offense. I mean, does that concern you still at this point in the season?
Let's see. That is 85 is a lot. I think initially we weren't prepared, or we were prepared. We just because we had a silent cadence that we had prepped, but we just weren't sure if we needed it, at first. And I think Afalava got that turnover, and we were away from the student section. We thought we could still, hear the clap, but I couldn't hear the clap. So we eventually turned to what we needed to do to execute and definitely to get those penalties down. That's the most important thing we saw in this game. I mean, we came out victorious, but the only time we didn't score, it's because the Deke stopped us, So if we can prevent that, especially going further on to the season and towards the winter, it's going to be important.
One more for Devin, guys. If Lee Lee's dinged up for a while, you gotta be nice to let him have the good parking spot.
Well, he already gets the good spot on the couch. So, I mean, I might just have to drop him off at the front door and then I'll just go park
That would
the
be
truck.
the
So,
brotherly thing to do.
but I mean, he's a strong kid, so he'll probably just offer me the good parking spot still. But thank y'all and go Deeks.
Thanks, Devin. Thanks, Devin. All right, guys, last one, we take games.
There. Thank you.
Who's this? Guys, we'll open up the questions for Nick.
Best defensive game of the season so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can, what was the final score? They had 23. Yeah, anytime, we'd love to be at under 20. But we made some adjustments at a halftime, and I think we did a good job of, not riding the highs and not riding the lows too much. So I think we did a pretty good job of just staying even keeled throughout the game.
Like, use the same answer on there, but what did it take to move past the bitterness of the way last week went and ended?
Yeah, I think as a team, you've seen every single week we've grown in at least one area, if not many. And so to finally get over that hump, we've always kind of started fast, but just how do we handle adversity in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, and how do we just put it all together to make a team win? And so I think we found that missing piece today, which was good to see.
You know the ball was getting thrown your way on that last play,
I always hope the ball is getting thrown my way,
especially against that team.
especially against that team. Every team's important. Just a little bit extra good feeling on this one.
Jake said he's never had a player who plays on instinct the way you do, successfully plays on instinct the way you do. How are you feeling out there with your game right now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. I feel confident, but really just trusting the position my coaches are putting me in. Obviously through film study and just the overall experience that I've had in the game, letting the game kind of slow down and have things come to me as opposed to me trying to go out there and make too much happen because then you're out of position and stuff. So, it's knowing when to take calculated risk. But again, I just have to credit my coaches for it.
Nick, I think a lot of teams up 7 points, 2 minutes to go, the opponent has no timeouts left. I send everybody back in coverage and just kind of prevent the ball getting beyond them. That's not what you guys did defensively. You guys brought the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that happened, and why was it so successful?
I think, we're a confident team. We're confident in who we have rushing. We're confident in who we have covering. And, So I think we like to be aggressive. It's kind of our style, and we just have to stay true to it, especially in those moments.
To that point, the scheme seemed even more aggressive today than past games. I mean, going at, you guys were in the backfield quite a bit with blitzes and, well, I mean, how did that feel to kind of be able to take the leashes off everybody and get everybody going forward?
Well, not only a credit to our coaches, but those guys up front. But not only the guys up front, I mean, some of our, corners got in there. Some of our nickels got in there. So, they'll be coming in Monday saying how they're good pass rushers and stuff. So, but I mean, those guys up front, they're all animals, every single one of them, not only against the run, but the pass. And it's nice. It makes it easy to play, DB when you have that in front of you.
Nick, Tony kind of touched on it by asking about your instinctual play. But the question I have is, do you believe you're playing your best football right now? And if so, what has led to that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think over the years, I just try and identify, what are some things that were good in the season, what are some things in bad, and then to improve upon the bad each and every single year. I've had quite a few seasons here, so I've had a good chance. But then, just the positions and the knowledge I'm getting from Coach Banks, Coach Hazelton, all those guys it's unbelievable. And so I think just using my experience, using what they're telling me to do, and then just going out there and just playing the ball.
Is it that the coaching change helped in a way that it added more tools to your toolbox? Like you already had the set of tools from your previous coaches. Now you're getting new and different things to learn.
I think
Is that fair?
yeah, sure. I think anytime that you can, it might be that they're trying to get the same point across, but how they're saying it's different. And so I remember, from the change from Coach Hemphill to Coach, Coach Lambert, there were different things I heard there, that I kind of picked up and could mold together. And now Coach Bench, Coach Hazelton, all those guys, I can kind of mold myself again like that. So I think it's a combination of all those pieces, and just trying to be the most complete football player I can.
One more for Nick, guys.
What's the feeling as a defense when it's game hangs in the balance, 8.5 minutes left, and the offense gets the ball back, and they melt 6.5 minutes off the clock and extend the lead?
I mean, it's tremendous. I mean, it was just a great team win overall. When the defense needed picking up, the offense picked us up. When the offense needs some picking up, I felt the defense picked them up. And then special teams all the way around has been great all year. And so I think it was a great team win for the Deeks today.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Robinson.
Let's say, when you let the stubble grow out, we can't see the star as well.
Yeah, I know. It's faded a little bit over the years.
You're certainly the shocker of the day, if not the entire year. So you see right?
I just didn't expect you to say that.
The big shit.
All right, guys, that'll wrap us up here on the Zoom. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Peter.